Becky here from Canberra. I'm a teacher librarian in one of the local schools. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, George by Alex Gino. This one I had put aside. What had happened was earlier this year, a couple of the Year 6 kids had asked me to purchase this out of a Scholastic Book Club. And I purchased it and I put it aside and I catalogued it and I covered it and I just put it on the shelf. I didn't really think much more about it. And then a couple of weeks ago, one of the teachers at the school picked it up and came and saw me and said, "Oh, look, Rebecca, I just picked this up. I hadn't really thought about it. This looks like a really powerful book." And so I thought, oh, okay, I better go and read it. So I did, and I picked it up not really knowing much about it. I mean, the cover starts off. When people look at George, they think they see a boy, but she knows that she's not a boy. She knows she's a girl. This book is about a transgender student. Now, when I think of transgender, I think of older kids. This child is actually 10 in this story. So this is the story of a child, George, who identifies personally as a girl, but no one else sees that. So this is the story of how George is coming to terms with the idea that she is a she and not a boy, not the gender that has been given to her at birth. She is in a class, I would say around year 4, year 5. I think it's year 5 actually, and her class has just finished reading Charlotte's Web, and she has been really moved by this and cried in class and is getting picked on by the boys in the class because she has cried. And she decides that she is going to try out for the role of Charlotte. And there's a whole lot of things that go on around this, and she can't play Charlotte because the school says no, it's only for girls. And George, in their eyes, is not a girl. And so it's about the journey that George has to go through in herself, with her friends, and with her family. It is a really powerful book. It's a difficult one for me to have read and to understand because I've never gone through this. The thing that really does it is not only the story and the journey that George has to go through, and I'm not going to tell you George's girl name because I think that would spoil the story. One of the other really powerful things is the interviews in the back, the frequently asked questions. And basically Alex Gino is being asked these questions. Now Alex identifies also as transgender, but does not necessarily refer to themselves as a her, because not identifying or as male or female. So there are lots of questions about why did you write George? How do I talk about the main character? How do I talk about you? And what pronouns to use? And I'm just going to quickly go through. Are you a lot like the characters in the book? Did you have a friend like George's best friend Kelly? Who's your favourite character? And how long did it take you to write George? And why do you say trans instead of trans? So there's just a whole lot of questions that people might be too frightened to ask anyone about being transgender. And I think it's a really great book. So if you're interested in this, if you're a kid interested in transgender, if you're an adult, really just go and read it. I know it's billed as being a kid's book, but really I think anyone that is in society today should read it and try and come to terms and understand why people identify the way that they do. Thanks for listening.